Put your best foot forward. Hello, everybody. Today is my day 251, which is January 18th. And my last few days have been just a lot of mental work. I kind of had come to the realization that the rules had changed for my health plan. And if you just watch the previous video, it probably makes more sense. I've already forgotten what I said in it. And I made it yesterday. But anyway, so healthcare changed. And for my company, you know, a surgery is a surgery is a surgery. And so provided that you follow the WPATH standards of care, then, you know, whatever. So I've been trying to piece together information, and I have the documentation from my company, what I need to do, and then I've been in the contact with the surgeon nearby, potential surgeon, I should say. I shouldn't get my hopes up. Just trying to come up with some kind of plan of attack, you know, and to break it down. You know, there's a certain order. It reminds me of in the movie Apollo 13, you know, where they're trying to restart the electronics on the LEM, and they have a certain sequence they're trying to figure out. And they know that they can do it if they figure out the sequence of what needs to be turned on and turned off, whatever, without blowing the circuits. And that's kind of how I found this process to be. Is was a little bit, it was very exciting and very like, oh my gosh, this is possible. But then you start to think about, okay, you do the research, you figure out the different surgeries and what they are, and you know, if you're a little squeamish, you're like, just put me to sleep, do what you got to do. But I've kind of worked out the order that things kind of need to happen in, because, you know, I'm in the middle, and then I also have to communicate with my healthcare provider or health insurance person. I also have to communicate with the doctor, the surgeon. And so that's kind of two gatekeepers too, and I mean that in a good way. Just they're there to help you and keep you, make sure you do what you need to do. And so there's a series of gates that need to, you know, things that have to happen. And so to get that sequence down has taken me a little couple days. And I'm looking at my notes here. Depending on what time you watch the video, if anyone else ever watches these videos, the standards of care might change in the future, but at present, you know, I'm looking at getting 2 letters of recommendation from two mental health folks, and then a hormones folk. You know, that is going to be probably my first needed thing to happen. And so, you know, I kind of need to get back in touch with mental health and everything else. I don't have any burning issues, but who knows? It's part of the process. I also have to get a little bit of laser electrolysis done downstairs, and that takes time as well as money. But, you know, with laser and electrolysis, just because you go over an area, you know, 4 to 6 weeks later, whatever missed, or, you know, it's not 100% one pass and you're done. And so the literature that I read said, you know, it could be a session and then 6 weeks time and another session. And the recommendation was 6 sessions. So, you know, that's 36 weeks. That's 9 months. You know, if you are trying to do this in sequence, and you say, okay, I'm going to get my letters and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start electrolysis, and then I'm going to get my surgery. Well, no, at that point, if you wait until that point to start electrolysis, you've got to wait 9 more months, you know? So if time is an issue. So, again, with the process, I've kind of figured out what I need to do and who I need to talk to and the order that it has to be done. Just kind of to get my ducks in a row. So I'm going to show a graphic here real quick, which is customized for me. There's nothing protected health information on here. I don't know if you could see that. Take a screen. But basically, and I've got the computer a little screwed up, I've kind of numbered where I'm at and how many months it would take. I can't have, the surgery. There's one surgery that's to get rid of your gonads or whatnot. Gonads! I can't do that till here, but I want to wait and do them both at the same time anyway, so I got to wait, And so, again, I've kind of figured out, by time, yes, on the one hand, you're like, oh, I have to wait 13 months. But on the other hand, you got stuff you got to do. I'm not sitting on my hands for the next 13 months if everything was to happen. Again, back to the NASA reference here, it's like, going to the moon. Everything has to happen at the right time. There's a lot of coordination that has to happen to get this to work. So, it's interesting in a way. But and again, health insurance plans, my plan is kind of cyclic and it resets at a certain time. And so once I hit my first tier deductible, that's the time to go get surgery done. If you could predict and you knew that, for 3 months out of the year, your out of pocket is going to be 30% or 10% of what it would normally be, that's the time to get the surgery done. And so again, with a little bit of forethought, and a little bit of planning and working backwards from that date, hopefully things will kind of come together. But I've learned a lot. I really, really have. And today, someone had, rightfully so, had said, something about, well, you're going too fast. And I can kind of understand that. On the other hand, it's like the laser sessions on my beard, the beard hairs, 8 sessions, 10 weeks apart. It's like over a year. And so get the ball going. And, if things change, then there's time. And this is something that I learned too in rereading the standards of care. The reason why there's that year waiting period is because up until that year, everything that you do in theory is kind of reversible. The reason to make you wait that time is to allow a year of, events, New Year's, Christmas, Halloween, I'm going backwards, your birthday, whatever, a year of life to go by so you experience it. And it also forces you to, different things and whatnot. But also for that year, if a person decided they wanted to do it and then they got on the hormones and everything, they have that period of time to where, the effects are kind of reversible to a certain degree, as opposed to going in, and getting your letters or in whatever, and, you go through the drive-through and they snip and you're clipped. And then if you change your mind, you can't go back, well, to a degree, not as easily. So I understand the logic of it now, where maybe in my 20s or 30s, I was like, I can't believe I got to wait a year, but I'm having fun, believe it or not, being out. And technically I've been out for a month now, so I only have 9 more months to wait on I mean, full time. Full time. So that's a little bit of the thinking behind it. And my fear also is that maybe in my own enthusiasm, and you'd have to, I think, experience it to understand, things are going so well, and the hormones are working, and you're doing things the way you want to be, and you're interacting with people that you want to be. And it's like being let out of a cage. You want to share it with the world, and you want to be excited, and I hope people are excited for me, but I mean, my fear is that maybe I say something, excuse me, excuse me, and I offend someone or I make someone feel bad, and that's not the reason for this. If anything, I think these videos and the fact that it is such a minute day-to-day thing, you see the reality, you see the struggle, you see that it's not the easiest thing in the world, but like I said, my hope is not to turn anyone off, but it's part of this process. And I certainly don't know everything. I'm learning. I'm here to just share what I've taken in. It helps me out. It's my therapy. And speaking of therapy, I'm curious. I want to get, obviously, I need 2 letters, right? 3 letters, but 2 mental health letters. And I don't really have any burning issues. I don't want any burning issues. My transition has been pretty damn smooth. Transition in the workplace has been pretty damn smooth. I work for a great company, lots of really good people. So, my visits, I think, to the therapy are going to be really, really short. And then for the second letter, to be evaluated, how can I be so happy and confirmed happy and go to someone and they're going to evaluate me to see if I'm actually a candidate? But again, I see the need for it. But I guess I feel like I have my stuff together, and I'm very thankful for that. So, all right. So that's my my entry for today. Life does go on, and that's all I got. Hopefully, things are good near you, and if by chance you happen to be kind of where I am at a later date, and you're trying to figure out what you need to do and how you're going to get there, maybe some of this will make some sense or help you out. So on that note, good luck. Bye.